The Benguet Electric Cooperative is the franchise holder for the distribution of light and power for Baguio City and the 13 municipalities of Benguet. The company's big loaders are found in the city of Baguio, but true to its mandate, the Electric Cooperative has provided electricity to indigenous peoples, indigenous cultural communities, farmers and small-scale miners alike in the northern and southern part of its area of responsibility. Its power lines traverse adverse terrains, no thanks to its geographically adverse trails of mountains, hills and rivers that make socio-energization exhausting and back-breaking. Beneco, though, takes pride in providing energy to match the growing demand for power of Baguio City, and to the strawberry and rose gardens, cloud-laden roads on steep mountainsides, and the nearby villages of famous Mount Pulag.
Hindi agtrabaho ti Binico, talo nga crew ti construction, may nga service. Tulod na kami jay site, tapos dipindi no sino to yung muna jay kasiggan, sunduan na kami yung plan malum. Jadi kanti construction hindi. Yung may isa lang tilugan ti construction. Hindi ada ti strang nadadal so nga kasaras jay ti style di trabaho.
Noong kami din na GM Versosa na from NEA, yun po ang struggle talaga, how to improve the system. Kasi panay ang brownout noon. Yung mga sasakyan is dilapidated, mga World War II vintage cars. And yun po ang ginagamit namin sa pag-inspect. At dahil rough road noon, yung Alsema Highway na doon yung mga member consumers natin na dito sa Benguet, ang hirap po ang mag-operate sa system and mag-maintain dahil nga mga lumang truck, mga lumang jeep na from World War II pa yun. So that yun po ang naging challenge sa amin on how to improve yung system and operation of the Beneco.
Nag-apply ako ng membership ng Beneco kasi siyempre para magkaroon ako ng ilaw. At noon, alam na natin yung Beneco off and on yung ilaw ay kulang yata ang supply ng kuryente kaya ganyan ang naging resulta. Always brown out.
Pumasok ako as a groundman, yung naghuhukay sa pagbaunan ng poste. But during that time, not knowing, yung company pala, yung medyo naghihirap pala. Nung pumasok ako, hindi maganda yung services ng Beneco noon. Binibigyan kami ng uniforme, so may jacket kaming maong, pares na maong. Pero may pangalan, may logo. Pag uwi ko na, tinatanggal ko yung jacket kasi maraming negative comments sa Beneco.
Although sa consumer nga, ang tingin ng mga consumers sa mga empleyado noon is hindi maganda dahil nga we have been experiencing brownouts dahil nga doon sa poor service.
Sa kunting alam natin sa management siguro, nasa management yung isa. Kulang siguro ang coordination yung mga members ng Beneco officers noong araw, kaya ganyan ang nangyari. Kahit napangit naman yung supply, sana ang mga kung maganda ang coordination nila at alam nila na iayos yung siguro hindi masyadong ganyan ang problema.
Way back in 1990, the distribution system ng Beneco was devastated by the 1990 earthquake.
As of 11 o'clock this morning, the Baguio City Disaster Coordinating Council placed the number of fatalities in the summer capital at...
The earthquake in the year 1990 snuffed Beneco's life when the tremor took down kilometers of electric lines, transformers, substations, and electric poles. The damage was so deep that the electric operative has to virtually start anew from scratch, owing to the massive destruction of its system.
During the time, hindi makabayad ang Beneco ng kanyang utang sa National Power Corporation na about 29 million. And sa utang ng Beneco sa material sa NEA na about 25 million. And during that time, that amount, malaking pera na yun during that time. So, buwan-buwan, nakakatanggap kami ng threat of disconnection from the National Power Corporation kasi hindi nga kami makabayad ng monthly power bill. In arrearages pa, utang eh. So, yun ang situation noon.
When it started to rebuild, the company has to battle the daunting task of a 30% system loss, 77% collection efficiency, and an infrastructure that has been reduced to rubble.
Anong talagang struggle ng Beneco noon is paano ma-improve yung services. Kasi mataas ang system loss. Mababa ang collection efficiency. Kasi ito sa negosyong ito pala, kailangan na yung system loss mo, andun ka lang sa standard. Tapos yung collection mo, dapat 100% nako-collecta yung nabebenta mo. Pero during that time, mataas ang system loss, umaabot ng 34%. Yung nawawalang kuryente. Tapos, yung natitira pang, let's say, 60% plus na nabenta mo, hindi mo makolekta lahat. So, mababa ang collection efficiency. So, paano mo papatakbo yung talagang papagandahin yung service mo sa consumer?
The biggest struggle of Beneco is on how to sustain the distribution of electricity in its franchise area, on how to maintain, on how to deliver it to them in a reliable way, and on how to give our member consumer an affordable electricity.
So yun ang isang nakikita ko na malaking struggle din ng Beneco. Malaki ang pagkakautang ng Beneco na naiwan, that was in 1990, at yun ang hinarap ng new management na isettle to be able to improve yung financial standing ng Beneco at of course its services.
Then one of the big players arrived, believing that it could provide better services to member consumers of Beneco. Power player Aboitiz wanted to take over the operation and the management of the electric cooperative.
Sometime 1986 na, katulad ng Aboitiz Group of Companies, nag-offer sila to take over Beneco. So, yung offer nila is parang kinagat ng Beneco board and then of course mga consumers dahil nga ang offer ng Aboitiz Group of Companies is to improve the services.
The attempt was brazen, but the employees, believing that the entry of private capital would compromise CISO energization, declared war and literally raised their arms into protest.
But during that time, ang employees kasi, most of the employees are from Benguet and of course the neighboring towns. Ang feeling namin, baka magiging private company na ito. We want to maintain it as cooperative na owned by the people. So during that time, umagri ang board of directors dun sa proposal ng Aboitiz. So meron silang arrangement, management contract. And it was confirmed by NEA.
The employees barricaded the entrance into the premises of the electric operative, holding placards, expressing opposition to any takeover by the rich firm.
Kami yung talagang nagmatigas na we did not allow the entry of the Abuitis management in the Beneco compound. Nagsasalitan kami na magbantay sa gate para hindi sila makapasok.
The employees then displayed nerves of steel, unmindful and fearless of what the other camp would employ. Eventually, the firm copped out, opting to abandon its intention to take over Beneco.
Well, nung na-feel nila na talagang strong ang unity ng employees, after nag-resist kami, continuous ang parang pleading ng Beneco management at that time. So, siyempre, tuloy-tuloy sa mga local newspaper, even national newspaper. So, ang nangyari, after that, nagpalabas na ang Abuitis ng statement na hindi na sila interesado sa pag-take over ng Beneco. So, naging cooperative pa rin ang Beneco. Pero, hindi pa rin mai-improve yung services ng Beneco. Ganon pa rin na medyo konting ulan, blackout, tapos hindi maayos-ayos yung billing system, including yung recording ng payments ng consumers. So, tuloy pa rin yung complaint ng consumers.
But the battle did not end there. Soon after the Aboitiz struggle, Beneco faced another trial when the National Electrification Administration decided to send some of its people to take over the management of the company. The NEA, being the regulator of the electric cooperatives according to Presidential Decree number 269, decided to exercise its powers of supervision and control in an attempt to rescue Beneco from its sorry state of affairs.
Mga 1989, meron ng notice ang NEA na ite-take over ang management ng Beneco. Kasi meron naman silang power to take over management of any ailing electric cooperative under their watch.
The attempt divided Beneco. There were members of the board of directors who were adamant to resist the NEA move, while there were those who said Beneco must be open to the NEA decision.
Hindi rin namin pinayagan na makapasok sila sa compound ng Beneco, yung NEA team. Kasi nga, nakikita namin na nagmi-meeting sila with the local officials na may connection sa Abuitis. So, hindi namin sila ulit pinapasok, yung NEA team. During that time, nag-file sila ng kaso sa Supreme Court. And then, ganun din ang Beneco. Nag-file din ng kaso sa Supreme Court. Kino-question ang pag-take over ng attempt ng NEA to take over.
The board in itself, including the employees, were divided. Aaway-away sila. Walang isang direksyon noon kasi hati nga yung loyalty ng mga employees doon sa dalawang paksyon ng board.
I was a witness doon sa mga history ng Beneco nga na talagang down ang Beneco noon. Bakit kasi? Hindi magkaintindi yung board. Nahati ang board in management and employees in management. Kasi may conflict talaga. So, yun ang talagang pinaka-challenge na nakita ko sa Beneco.
I think that was sometime 1989 or 88. No? Or 1990. Mga ganon. 99 or 1990. Yan yung, there was an issue sa management ng Beneco. And during that time, yung Beneco office was still doon sa Along Magsaysay, doon sa baba ng Iglesia ni Cristo. At nagkaroon ng problema sa management and yung management would like to take over. Kaya lang, ang ginawa nung old management, ay umalis. They were holed up and at the same time, they were guarded by armed guards. Armed guards. At nakatutok yung mga armed guards sa labas. So, nagkaroon ng standoff. Ang ginawa ngayon ni Colonel Ako Panon. He's now he was the congressman of Antipolo. No? pinapunta ako to resolve the incident. Tama-tama naman, bagong graduate ako sa counter-terrorism sa Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Kararating ko noon eh. Nung inassess ko yung situation, nakita ko yung mga gwardiya, tinututok yung baril sa amin. Nagre-resist. So, ang ginawa namin, inakyat namin. Sinabihan ko yung mga gwardiya, huwag kayong puputok. Sabi ko sa kanila. Tapos, pina-aim ko sa kanila yung snipers ko. Pina-aim ko yung baril ko doon sa mga gwardiya. Tapos sabi ko, akyatin yung fence. Sarado yung gate eh. Akyatin yung gate. Pag akyat yung gate, pasukin. Pinasok namin, binuksan. Pasok kami sa loob. Buhatin mismo, binuhat. Physically, binuhat namin yung manager. In fact, I was not supposed to intervene. Nakunin ko yon. Pero hindi mariresolve yung issue eh. Hindi mariresolve yung issue. Ang order lang sa akin is to maintain peace and order lang doon sa lugar. Pero, kung ganun mangyayari, it will drag days. Kailangan i-resolve ka agad yung issue. Kaya, sinabihan ko na yung boss ko, sir, hindi mariresolve tong issue na to. Kailangan meron ng intervention rito. So, anong sabi niya? Sir, i-assault ko to. Sabi niya, sigurado mo, walang mamamatay. Hindi siya, walang mamamatay dito, sabi ko sa kanya.
The NEA intervention reached the Supreme Court, which ultimately resolved in favor of NEA by sustaining its charter as the validly constituted body by the state to govern the operations of electric cooperatives.
Pero nga, ang Korte, Supreme Court, pinanigan ang NEA kasi base sa batas, meron talaga silang power to take over. So, nang meron ng order ng NEA ay Supreme Court, siyempre, pinapasok na namin yung team ng NEA. So, yun ang fear namin kasi is baka pag take over ng NEA, ibibigay din sa Buitis. Kasi ang history nga is, kinonfirm ng NEA ang management contract na pinirmahan ng Beneco Board and the Buitis Group of Companies. So, yun ang fear namin. So, nung may court order na legal ang pag-take over, siyempre, we have to recognize the court. So, yung parang takot namin noon na so, nagkamali pala kami doon sa pag-prevent namin na pag-entry ng management team. Since then, at least na nakakabayad ang Beneco sa utang. Utang sa NPC, yung power supply, utang sa materials ng sinusupply ng NEA. Kasi ang NEA kasi, sila ang banker, lender sa lahat ng electric co-op. Materials, financial, sila ang nabibigay talaga. But we will have to pay.
Beneco took bold steps to address the sorry condition of its operations. Led by GM Gerardo Versosa, the electric cooperative gambled to take loans to improve its systems and started a massive rehabilitation of its operations.
Ang masasabi ko kay GM is he's workaholic. He's very passionate about his work. While he is old school compared to us, he is visionary in the sense that he uses his knowledge and he uses technology to improve our system. But a lot of people doesn't know that while he is very strict, nagagalit and all that, may malambot din siyang puso. In fact, he has always been at the forefront of seeing to it that the benefits of the employees are taken care of. And I remember, ang unang ginawa niya is to improve the salaries of the Beneco employees.
Beneco slowly gained the fruits of its arduous labor to improve its services. After years of building the foundations of its road to success, the electric cooperative now stands as one of the most benchmark electric cooperatives in the country. The men and women of Beneco takes pride on what they now have.
What management did is to secure a loan or avail of a loan from the NEA. Binayaran niya yung utang ng pagkakautang ng Beneco sa NEA and NPC. And then with NPC kasi nagbibigay sila ng 3% prompt payment discount. Yun ang ginamit ng Beneco ng pambayad sa mga loan amortizations.
So, since then, doon na unti-unti umaangat na yung performance ng Beneco. Ina-award pa ang Beneco ng yung palang continuous payment ng loan amortization. Mayroon pang 1 year na nakabayad kami ng about 35 million doon sa utang ng Beneco sa NEA. So, may award ang Beneco. So, doon na nag-umpisa ng talagang pag-angat ng Beneco. In-improve namin yung system. Bumaba yung system loss. Gumanda yung collection efficiency. So, since then, hanggang tuloy-tuloy, medyo gumanda ang operation ng Beneco.
One of the most outstanding, if not the most stunning headquarters among all the 121 electric cooperatives in the country. The headquarters is equipped with top-of-the-line facilities that cater for linemen, a top-of-the-line LED wall fronting a spectacular hall, and a modern conference room to host the sessions of the Board of Directors.
Comparing it to the past, maganda ngayon kasi ang alam natin, hindi naman natin maikaila na ang Beneco ay advanced na compared to other, di ba meron na tayong SCADA, first to have that. Wala namang problema dyan, paano nakaano ng Beneco. Beneco, hindi nakaabil ng Beneco niya kung hindi maganda ang management.
The installation of a smart grid that allows the data acquisition and operations monitoring inside a vast array of technologically advanced system right at the headquarters.
Nag-invest rin ang Beneco sa SCADA system. Ito po yung proyekto ng ating mga technical engineers kung saan po nakikita nila, namomonitor na nila ang mga distribution system devices natin. Yung mga substations, reclosers, hanggang pati po doon sa metro. In that way, mas napapabilis po ng Beneco ang response at pagmomonitor ng ating mga distribution asset.
One of the lowest electricity rate among all the ECs in the country, as amplified by the EC's AAA rating over the last 3 years. This is due to a single-digit system loss brought about by an efficient and technologically driven system and a power supply agreement. The EC was able to secure a power generator that ensured one of the lowest tariff for electricity in the country today.
Base doon sa mga impressions ng mga consumers and of course the other electric cooperatives, nasasabi naman nila na one of the best electric cooperative in the country ang Beneco ngayon. So, at impressed naman sila sa mga services ng Beneco kasi sabi nila mabilis na daw umaksyon ang Beneco sa mga request ng consumers. And isa pa na sa amin na alam namin i-compare ang rates, power rates ng Beneco to the other utilities, ang Beneco ang isa sa mga nagbibigay ng cheapest rates in the country.
What made this endeavor unique is that Beneco was able to wisely sign a scientifically studied power supply agreement that redounded to the benefit of its member consumer owners. Beneco took such gamble for an agreement even before the enactment of Republic Act 9136 or the Electric Power Industry Reform Act that deregulated the generation and transmission sectors of the power industry. The continuing bid of Beneco to energize the remaining underserved and unserved sitios of Benguet. Relative to this is Beneco's commitment to pay the 100 million loan to NEA, which the EC have fought for principle and compromise with NEA regarding its payment. Not only that, Beneco has embarked on the development of the 3 megawatts renewable energy generation facility in Bugyas, Benguet, whose commercial operation is expected by 2020.
We have to produce our own power. So, nagbe-venture na tayo sa renewable energy development katulad ng hydro, katulad ng solar. Kaya nga ang position ko ngayon is Program Development and Community Liaison Officer doon sa Renewable Energy Project. So, yun ang tinatrabaho namin. Meron kaming ongoing construction na 3 megawatts sa Malasok. Ongoing construction na hydro. Meron kaming nininegotiate sa Kabayan na 20 megawatts. We have just signed the memorandum of agreement on partnership with the IP community to develop that project. Then, meron din kami naka-line up na possible 10 megawatt solar na nide-develop with the help of the NRECA and RECA, National Rural Electric Cooperative of America. Meron din kami naka-line up na 1 megawatt solar na grant sa European Union. Beneco is one of the 7 electric cooperatives chosen by NEA and was qualified to receive the grant of 1 megawatt solar power. So, lahat yan tinatrabaho natin to hopefully na Beneco, darating ang panahon na ipoproduce nila ang kanilang power.
The engagement for a 10 megawatts and 20 megawatts hydro power plants in Kabayan, Benguet, in partnership with indigenous peoples and indigenous cultural communities, whose exercise of priority rights guaranteed by the Indigenous Peoples' Rights Act, that are often overlooked if not neglected by big players of the power generation business.
Now we are venturing to renewable energy, especially hydro power plants, and including yung solar. Hopefully, ma-start natin yung construction ng mga solar projects natin so that it is the only way for us, member consumers of Beneco, to reduce the rates. Kung tayo ang nagtayo and nag-operate ng ating renewable energy and power plants, sigurado ang effect is that it will be the only way for us to reduce the rates for the member consumers.
The continuation of Beneco's partnership with the Department of Information and Technology for the provision of free internet services to government institutions in line with the government's national broadband project. Beneco was the first EC in the country whose fiber optic lines were tapped for such endeavor, recognizing the fact that ECs are by no means only for electric distribution, but as ready and willing partners for internet delivery.
Last year po, pumunta po ang in partnership with NEA and PhilReca, tiningnan po ng DICT, yung Department of Information and Communication Technology. Ito po yung sangay ng gobyerno na kung saan ang programa po niya ay paano pabilisin at pamurahin po ang internet dito sa Pilipinas. Alam po natin na sa Pilipinas yata, isa ang bansang ito sa Asia na pinakamabagal at pinakamahal ang internet. So with the agreement with NEA and PhilReca, tinitignan pang DSCT na baka ang electric co-ops, katulad ni Beneco, ay maging partner nila para paratingin po yung mabilis at murang internet sa kanayunan, mga rural areas. Programa rin po kasi ng DICT na lahat ng mga government agencies, ito po yung mga public school, barangay hall, LGUs, mga ospital, na bigyan ng access dito po sa internet. So, dahil po dyan, naging pilot project po ang Beneco for that concept. So, last year, meron pong 14 pilot sites na tinignan ng DICT kung kaya ni Beneco na latagan ng fiber at ikabit po sa network ng Beneco. So itong 14 sites na po ito yung mga nakita po ng DICT na kailangan rin na bigyan ng access sa internet at doon sa kanilang tinatawag na government portal. Example po, ito po yung provincial capital, yung Camp Dangwa, yung Benguet General Hospital, La Trinidad LGU, yung Benguet State University, DOST, Baguio City Hall, yung Camp Janhay, and yung mga iba pa. So, ito po ay ginawa ni Beneco, ikinabit po, including po yung Pag-asa Relay Station po doon sa Santo Tomas, about 13 kilometers from the CBD area. Nilatagan po ng Beneco ng fiber rin yun para ma-connect po yung opisina ng Pag-asa sa Santo Tomas. So, naging successful naman po yung pilot project at noong January 8 of this year, nagkaroon ng parang ceremonial MOA signing at doon po nagsimula na ang Electric Co-op po, pwede po lang maging partner ng government in terms of rural development, in terms of improving the internet access in the Philippines.
Basically, siguro ang mga tinitingnan nating future plans and long-term plans of Beneco is first siguro is yung renewal ng kanyang franchise area because Beneco was given a franchise area to operate for the next 50 years in 1978. And this will expire in 2028. So 5 years before that, you have to start already lobbying for the renewal of your franchise. Second, the future Beneco that is looking into is venturing into renewable energy. Kung titingnan kasi natin ang components ng rate ng Beneco, the generation component is the biggest part of the rate. So Beneco is looking into developing renewable energy in the future so that it will be totally dependent on renewable energy and it will not be dependent on independent power producers. And then by doing so, it hopes to lower its rates through the generation costs. Third probably is we are now in the digital age, as they say, Internet of Things. So Beneco is currently working on its smart grid project. So we're looking into utilizing the various technologies available now, like internet, because all the things now that you do are you can't do it without technology. Okay, so Beneco is looking into utilizing this technology for its operations. In fact, we started doing a lot of things, computerization, our distribution network, including our operations, all geared towards improving our services to our member consumers that we serve.
The continuation of Beneco's partnership with Converge, an international internet service provider, which found the EC's communication line facilities conducive to providing internet to households and communities. This underscores the capacity of the EC to fulfill its role as last-mile provider and capability to engage into other ventures aside from the normal business of electric distribution. Beneco recently also became a major player in providing loans to ECs when it invested 160 million pesos to the Rural Electricity Financing Corporation in order to help pursue its mandate. No other EC has attempted to breach the limit of their annual budget to go into this undertaking, but Beneco wants to show that it is playing its card right to make such decisions which others may consider risky. The continuing bid of Beneco to energize the remaining underserved and unserved sitios of Benguet. Relative to this, Beneco has fought to compromise the payment of their 100 million peso loan from NEA, despite its commitment of paying. The startling decision of Beneco to convert as a stock cooperative and register with the Cooperative Development Authority to make Beneco's member consumer owners true and legitimate through the provision of patronage refund and possible interest on share capital. This undertaking, however, does not mean that the EC will abandon NEA, since Republic Act 10531 has made it clear that despite the registration of ECs with the CDA, the NEA shall still continue to exercise control and supervision over the ECs which Beneco shall adhere to and comply with. As an electric cooperative whose consumers remain loyal and steadfast, Beneco also knows how to repay its patronage. The EC has spent a lot of money to provide free CCTV cameras to the Philippine National Police and selected local government units. This is its way of helping promote peace and order. The company has erected a TESDA-registered technical vocational school in Bugyas, Benguet, where shield metal and arc welding and electrical installation and maintenance course are offered for free to the children of member consumers. Beneco also has a death benefit assistance for the heirs of member consumers who die in the amount of 5,000 pesos. This year, Beneco has also started to implement its educational assistance program to poor but deserving dependents of member consumers. Each qualified applicant are assured of a 5,000 pesos grant if enrolled in a 4-year college in a public school, or 12,000 if enrolled in a private institution. The Board of Directors has also provided a lot of assistance to their constituents through the provision of their Corporate Social Responsibility Fund for consumers suffering from cancer, diabetes, and other illnesses that require regular medical attention but whose costs are far too expensive and beyond their means. Beneco has a promise not to waver from its mandate to energize the countryside. It has assured its member consumers its commitment to provide the least cost of power, ensure a reliable, available, and efficient power supply.
Pinaka-proudest moment is that we attained the AAA status given by NEA, and one of the lowest system loss in the country and the most cheapest rate for all electric co-ops in the whole Philippines.
I am proud to be an employee of Beneco kasi naging part ako ng mga struggles and success ng Beneco. So, pag nakikita kong masaya ang mga consumers, pinipraise nila ang Beneco for good service, proud na rin ako being an employee.
Every day actually is a proud moment because I'm very happy that Beneco employed me. So, daily is a very proud day for me in Beneco.
Proud na tayo siguro ngayon na magsabi na tayo ay isang board ng Beneco as part of the employees. Kasi noon, pag sinabi mong Beneco employee ka o director ka noon, binabato kayo eh. Kaya ang maganda ngayon, nire-respeto ang mga employees at saka directors ng Beneco.
Unang-una, gusto ko lang pasalamatan ang ating ang management ng Beneco and at the same time, yung mga staff and employees of Beneco for their hard work. You know, I know that you're doing a great job in maintaining our electricity, our lights dito sa city of Baguio. You've been working hard even during typhoons, calamities. You are always there. You respond, efficiently and quickly to call of to emergency calls. And I would like to commend everyone. Maraming salamat sa iyo on behalf of the city of Baguio.